Alrighty then. I just wanted to take a few moments here to tell you folks a little story. First, I want to apologize for two things. First thing I want to apologize for is Turby. She is in heat, so you will hear her, I guarantee you, sometime throughout this video, if not through most of it. I apologize ahead of time. Also, the microphone on the last Batman series videos, it was just seriously messed up. But I've got that fixed now. Hopefully, I think. Pretty sure. I guess we'll find out, huh? I wanted to tell a story that all started because of something really terrible that happened. My dad is, well, I'm old. He's older. He's, I think, 82, I think now, somewhere along in there. So yeah, he's really old. And he needed, he had a small heart attack and needed triple bypass surgery. So they took him down to the hospital in Baltimore to have that done. And needless to say, because of his age and the fact that they're doing open heart surgery on him, that's very, very, very high risk surgery for a man of that age. So I had to fly home to be there, just to be there with him. And as you guys know, I live out Vegas way, and well, that was in Baltimore, Maryland. It's the opposite sides of the country. Started out pretty good. I hooked up with Frontier Airlines. They had a good price. It was a relatively spur of the moment purchase. So being the fact that I could get it the next morning at such a low price was a good thing. So I took them. And it was a great flight. Everybody was very polite. It was very nice. The plane was nice and roomy. Instead of being all scrunched up like that, there was room. It was a nice, very, very good experience. Saw my dad and joked with him about, the lengths that he'd go to just to get me to fly back to visit him from Vegas. I tell you what. But fortunately, I was able to tell him a couple of little things about some of my experiences with operations, so he knew what to expect. And he thanked me for that. So that was nice. And he actually did really well. The doctor was surprised. This has very little to do with the story, but I didn't want to leave that open. His doctor was very surprised. He was able to do the surgery without stopping his heart or anything. Other than that, my dad's healthy as a horse. Made it through the surgery perfectly fine and was home a couple of days later. Home happy. So that's a good thing. My dad's on his road to recovery. He's doing well. Then comes, it's time to come home. Here's where my story starts. You see, I also had booked a flight through Frontier Airlines to come home on a Sunday evening. And it was early Sunday, like 5 o'clock, I think the flight was for. 5:15, 5:45, something like that. And what I had done was I flew to Pittsburgh and drove a rental car to Baltimore. Well, that's about 4.5 hour drive. About 3 hour drive from my dad's house back to Pittsburgh. The problem with that is it's Baltimore and it's all Maryland, and Pittsburgh is Pennsylvania, and it's all ice. So snow and ice. I leave at 1 o'clock 1 o'clock in the afternoon in order to try and make it back in time to catch my flight and not have to worry about rushing and not have to worry about driving through the snow or the ice or any of that stuff. Made it back. It was fine. Got to the rental car agent, dropped off the rental car, went in to get on the flight and sat there and waited, and noticed that the gate was fairly full of people, and I was kind of surprised. And then it came time to board the flight, and they didn't do anything. And then it was past time to start boarding the flight. Eventually, the ladies up at the counter says that they were going to have to announce that the flight has been canceled because they don't have any pilots. They don't have any pilots. Come to find out why the gate was full was because Saturday night's flight was also canceled because they didn't have any pilots. Now I'm looking out the windows, and there's 2 gates, and there's a Frontier plane at both gates. So I'm looking at okay, whatever, that's fine. They canceled the flight. When's the next flight available? What are we going to do? How do I handle this? So I talked to the guy there at the Frontier Airlines counter, and he's supposed to be a supervisor of some sort. And I said, what are you going to do for me? He goes, well, you can stand over there. We can give you a refund. I said, how am I going to get back to Vegas? How am I going to get home? Shush, Terpenes. I'm talking here. Anyhow, sorry. I know, honey. Told you she'd pop up. Anyhow, he says, well, we can give you a refund. I said, don't you have any, hook me up with another flight from another carrier or something? He goes, no, we don't have any dealings with the other carriers. It's like, okay. Why exactly was this flight canceled again? He says, we don't have any pilots. I looked out and pointed at both of those planes. I said, I don't mean to be rude, and I'm normally a very nice person, but I've got to ask. How the fuck did those 2 planes get there? Excuse my language, but that's literally what I said. Somebody had to fly the things in. Somebody's here in Pittsburgh that can fly. Oh, well, we just don't have any that are available. I said, well, how long they got to sleep? 8 hours? Great. Book a flight for tomorrow morning. No, you just have to go online and see when the next available flight is. So they gave us a phone number to call and get a refund, and gave us a phone number to call to get book a new flight if we needed to. The earliest they could get me out, they thought possibly would be Thursday. This is Sunday. Thursday. Finally get to talk to the lady at the counter, and she goes online and says I got a refund. I go online later on, find out, no, I don't have to have a refund. I don't have a refund scheduled yet. So I had to call again to get the refund scheduled. Yeah, she lied to me. She told me she gave me a refund right then and there. No, there was nothing scheduled. So, okay. Now I got to find a way to get back to Pittsburgh. Or get back home from Pittsburgh. I go on, also I have a cold. I go on, I find American Airlines. Fine, whatever. American Airlines has a flight the next morning at 5 a.m. By now, it's already 11 p.m. This is how long I've been fighting and sitting online on the phone for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours on hold to Frontier Airlines to find out when they could book me the next flight. And okay, fine, whatever. It's 5 a.m. I could do this. Great, booked it, looked at it, and says, okay, you know what? I've already had enough stress this week. I need a nice, soft, easy ride home. Unfortunately, they don't have any direct flights. I got to fly to Chicago. Nobody wants to go to Chicago. You just kind of have to go there. And it's 9 below zero in Chicago, Fahrenheit. That's freaking cold. So, okay, I decided I'm going to upgrade myself. It's $300 more. I'm going to go first class. Yeah, you're going to do it the next morning flight. Not like Frontier where, okay, it's not that expensive. Their bare flight was what it would have cost me 3 flights for Frontier. That was their bare bones flight on American Airlines. So they're really expensive. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to throw the extra $300 in there and go first class. Go up to the Hilton, there at the airport, get a room, realizing that I'm going to be in that room for a total of 4 hours. $109 for 4 hours in the hotel room. Yeah, whatever. I don't care at this point. They could have had $1,000. I'd have paid the freaking thing. Just get me home. Go in, take a little nap, come back out, get to the airport, and it's time to board, and we're not boarding. It's delayed, and delayed, and delayed. Now remember, I've got to fly to Chicago. The reason why I have to fly to Chicago is to catch another plane from Chicago to Vegas. So I have to be in Chicago in time to catch this other plane. And yeah, it's delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. Finally, you know what? They let us start board. They said, the one pilot is there, the other pilot's on his way. By the time we're boarded, he'll be there and ready to go. So we start boarding, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait. Finally, the guy shows up. The other pilot shows up. And we start to taxi out. He says, oops, you know what? I apologize. We got to de-ice before we leave. Other than the delay that causes, I totally understand. I don't want the thing freezing up and falling out of the sky like a brick. Cool. De-ice it. I don't care. Just make it quick. The guy comes on afterwards, after the de-icing, says we're ready to take off. And for anybody who has connecting flights in Chicago, he apologizes for being late because he overslept. Not because of snow, not because of weather, not because there was something wrong with he overslept. That's why he was late. This is very important. So we finally take off and we land. I happen to notice there's this guy, same guy that was waiting with me for Frontier Airlines the night before. It's kind of a funny thing. And a great big black dude. And he was just so calm and so cool. And he's laughed at me. He's the one that hooked me up with American Airlines. Says, call them right now. You can still get a flight. I just did. They still have a couple seats left. Go for it. So we land. And it's like, okay, this flight in Chicago takes off at 7:15. It is now 7:12. And in Chicago, they don't like to put your flights, connecting flights, close to one another. No, it's the other end of the airport. So here's me and this big dude. We're running through the airport like OJ on crack, okay?
Winning throughout the nation as Hertz the superstar. We got the winning combination. Super people, super cars. Making that extra effort to meet your special needs. Getting you in, getting you out with super speed.
I'll have to Google in a link for the OJ link on that for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. And you got to admit, it had to look really weird. There's this really big black guy being chased, I guess you could say, by this little fat white old dude through the airport. We're trying to get to the gate. We get to the gate at 7:16. Those doors are shut. That plane's gone. I missed my flight from Chicago to Vegas. I call American Airlines, tell them what happened. I say, and it's because, and your pilot admitted this, he came on the PA and said it was because he was late. You guys got to hook me up with another flight. What's your next earliest flight? Next one was at, I think, 10:15 or something like that. Fine, that'll give me something. I'll go get breakfast or something. Book me on that. Oh, we don't have any more first class seats on that. All we have is coach. I don't care. Duct tape me to the top of the damn plane. Get me home. So I go coach. And I said, now what about the price? So there's a $300 difference in the ticket price. Well, we'll have to look into that because since you're booking it so close to the actual the departure time, the price is pretty much about the same. So that's not my fault. That's your fault. You fix this. Well, we could always book you on a later flight to get you that first class seat. No. That's not how this plays. Put me on a damn plane. Just get me on the plane. So I get on that plane. It takes off 20 minutes late, but I don't care because there's no more stops between there and Vegas. I finally get home. I'm tickled to death. I'm home. It took a while, and it was an adventure in and of itself, but I'm home. I realize, wait a minute, American Airlines just screwed me out of $300, and it's their fault. So I start a mini little Twitter war with them and say, hey, I'm not very happy here. They tweet back saying, we'll work on this. We'll see if we can get you a refund. We're sorry you had a bad experience, blah, blah, blah. I actually had to phone call them and explain what's going on. phone call, email back and forth. I've still yet to see the refund. It's a week later now. I still have yet to see any difference. Nothing from American Airlines. So, to wrap this all up, 1, never fly Frontier Airlines. They came on in Vegas on our local news and said the reason why the flight was delayed was because all the pilots were stranded in Denver, Colorado because of the snowstorm there. Well, that doesn't explain the people that are sitting in Pittsburgh, but that's what they said. Then they talked to the pilots union who said, no, we're on strike. It's like, okay, you got the pilots union saying you're on strike. Corporate saying, no, it's because they're all stranded in Denver. Every pilot they have in the entire company is stranded in Denver. Never fly Frontier Airlines. Scratch them off your list forever and ever and ever. I hope they go belly up. Not literally, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But yeah, the company's got to go away. Fire everybody. And as for American Airlines, unless you got really deep pockets and don't care about blowing your money on and it was a crappy flight, by the way, stay away from them. There's got to be some Spirit Airlines is good. Southwest Airlines is good. Stay away from American as well, because they're, well, you can see it now. If I do get my refund and not a $50 coupon for the next flight, which is literally what they offered me. It's like, no, honey, I'm not flying American again. If I do get my refund, I will make an apology video and say, you know what, I take it back. They worked with me. They got it done. But as of a week from the day this happened, it's not done. So that's on them. Their pilot slept in. He said so. It's not my fault. Frontier pilots are on strike. Corporate's lying about it. Still haven't gotten a refund from them either, by the way. So there you go. There's my. I had to rant on this. I just had to rant on this. Had to explode. And there it is. I apologize. Actually, the only thing I apologize for is if I just wasted your time. That would be it. I'm not apologizing for anything I said about these airline companies. They all suck. Especially Frontier. Talking to you, Frontier Airlines, you lying bastards. And as for American, you know, there's a reason why you're not as popular as you used to be. And this is one of the reasons. That's all. Thank you for wasting 20 minutes of your life to listen to me rant. And thankfully my dad's fine. It was worth every penny to go back and see him, don't get me wrong. But, dude, really? Airlines. Never fly in the winter, never fly American, and never fly Frontier. Thank you. Got another video coming up. I'm going to be doing the Walking Dead, I guess the new Frontier, sounds Star Trek-y, is coming up next. So that'll be the next video you guys see. Okay? All right, and then I'll get back to Batman. And I'm putting Batman off because, you know, I just can't handle it. Till then, bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.